We are pleased to have with us the former Mexican president, Vicente Fox, who held that position for 6 years, ending last year. President Fox is the author of the brand new book, Revolution of Hope. Thanks for coming in here.
Thank you for that introduction. It's quite aggressive.
Yes, well, that is our program.
We should talk about it.
No spin zone. Let's take them one by one. Poverty. You know, you got the oil, you got the beautiful coastlines, you have a third of the population of the USA. Why can't you have a first world economy that supports your own people?
Well, first of all, because we had 72 years with a lousy government, corrupt government.
Does that include your
controlling the
administration?
country? No, of course not. 72 years of the PRI. Number two, because in Mexico we're working hard to try to overcome poverty, create jobs, and do our best for that purpose. It's our obligations, and we need those opportunities for our people.
Okay, but it's the year 2007. You were in for 6 years, and you got 60% of your people dropping out of high school. I mean, you're never going to get a good economy.
Not true. Not true.
60%?
94% of kids today complete high school and complete basic school. 94% today, and improving and moving upwards. So the job is being accomplished step by step. It's not.
Well, maybe there's a difference between your school system and ours, but the statistic is 60% don't have what you would equivalize here as a high school education. But be that as it may, when you have 50% living below the poverty line, you know how poor it is. I mean, you're going to come to the United States. They're going to come here.
Poverty line is established by United Nations and World Bank, $2 a day per capita. 18% of Mexican families are under the $2 a day.
That's appalling.
And only 4% are under the $1 a day. It's not much, I know.
Come on.
It's difficult to have that poverty. We're trying hard to get...
But you're not succeeding. That's Mr. President, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but the reason millions of Mexicans are coming here isn't because they like LA or Miami. It's because they can make money here and they can't make money there.
All right?
And you're not stopping them.
Because this economy needs them.
That's true.
We are not the ones to stop them. It's this
well,
side of the world.
wait a minute. If they're breaking our law,
they work here.
Yes.
They work here. Somebody hires them. They pay them here.
Right.
And they are good, decent people, ready to work.
Most of them are. But don't you have an obligation to stop illegal immigration to the United States? Don't you have an obligation to do that?
Yes.
Well, why you haven't done that?
Trying to build up the jobs. Why my grandfather came from United States, being born in Cincinnati, Ohio, down to Mexico, migrating without a penny in his pocket, trying to make his American dream. I mean, that's human nature.
But look,
and we all try to improve ourselves. And of course, if you earn 10 times more salaries here than in Mexico, people tend
explain this
to
me. On the southern border with Guatemala, you got the Mexican army down there, okay? And it's hard to get through there. But on the northern border, you let anybody who wants to come El Norte come. You don't stop them.
You see, again, I don't see where you get your information. That is not true.
Well, according to Human Rights Watch, and do you know the group?
250,000 Central Americans cross the Mexican border.
Yeah.
And we shelter them and we send them back.
That's not what. Do you know what the organization Sin Fronteras is?
I don't know who they are.
That's Without Borders.
I'm giving you
Human Rights Watch.
Truth information.
Right.
Truth information. Fact.
But the fact is that you haven't been able to stop tens of millions of your citizens from coming to the United States.
No, not tens of millions. Not tens.
Well, the estimate between 12 and 20, and about 75% of Mexico.
$300,000 a year, which is what this economy needs.
But you don't try to stop them.
I mean,
you don't try to stop them. You let them go.
We are not going to build a prison in Mexico. We're not building walls to retain our people. We're not Cuba. We're not communists.
So you think it's okay for them to come undocumented?
Of course, it's okay for them to look for a better future for their family.
Like
my grandfather did.
Okay, but your grandfather, look, I don't know what your grandfather did, but there is law. There's international law.
Yeah.
And Mexican citizens by the millions are violating United States law, and you're saying it's fine.
Yeah, because you hired them here.
We'll take care of our guys. We'll take care of our guys.
Take care of ours.
But you're not trying to stop them.
They're hard-working people doing their best.
They're violating our law. What if millions of Americans were violating Mexican law?
You're responsible for applying the law yourself.
No, all I am is an analyst.
What you causes irritation, and this is the xenophobics I'm referring to. It's people irritating people. That's not the way to handle problems. It's not up to the democratic standards of this nation. It's not up to...
So you want an open border? You want an open border? You want every Mexican who wants to come here? Well, you're not stopping them. You're not stopping them. You're letting them come here, violating our law.
Let's take sensitive, intelligent decisions. I pledge Congress to deal with immigration.
But you didn't.
Let's bring order to immigration. Let's bring legality to the issue. Let's have a framework through which this economy will benefit from those workers because you need them to.
That's right. Do it in an orderly manner. Look, no American wants. Most Americans. Okay, most Americans don't want the wall, Mr. President. They don't want the wall. But we have to have the wall because the Mexican government won't stop the chaos. They won't do it.
Can you imagine this nation of the free, this nation of globalization, the champion of democracy, the leader in the world of opening markets, I mean, isolating itself?
Not isolating, it's protecting ourselves. It's protecting ourselves.
I call it isolating.
Yeah, 20 million people here, we don't know who they are. We have to protect ourselves. We have to build a wall because your government wouldn't stop it. That's why we have to do it.
What about Central Americans? What about Asians? This land is a land of opportunity. People come here
They
because
can't come
it's
here
a great
undocumented.
nation, and I love this nation, and I love what this nation has been. But this nation needs to go back to its basics, its fundamentals, and to deal with issues and solve them. Every day I get tomorrow, mañana, maybe after the election.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, I agree with you. I think you and I could have solved this problem, but if I were President Bush, I would have demanded that you stop or help stop that immigration flow. And then we can, once we stop it, then we can do an orderly way. All right, I want to talk a lot more. We have a lot more to talk about. I want to talk about this narcotics thing because I know you hate that, and I hate it too. It's terrible, and it's hurting Mexican people too.
So much.
We're gonna talk about that, and we'll talk about the president's excellent book as we continue. And later, McDonald's. Continuing now with Vicente Fox, who was president of Mexico for 6 years. He is the author of the brand new and excellent book, Revolution of Hope. You said to the Associated Press, quote, "The xenophobics, the racists, those who feel they are a superior race, they are deciding the future of this nation, the United States." What do you mean by that?
Minutemen in Arizona. Aggressive, violent, xenophobic.
The Minutemen on the border.
Yes.
I'm not aware of any violence they've done.
I mean, that's my claim. I mean, we must act with intelligence. We must work on this framework so that immigration becomes an asset to both nations. Believe me. What just the Major Bloomberg said here in New York, that this city would be stopped, totally stopped, if it were not by the immigrants working here.
Every American understands that it's partially the fault of the United States that this is so out of control because the United States looked the other way after the Reagan amnesty and allowed people to come over. But it's partially the fault of the Mexican government for allowing it to happen. And the reason is because the dollars that go back to Mexico are your second largest industry. But I'm interested about the racist situation. I don't think the Minutemen are racist. I don't know of any violence. But I don't think they're racist. I think what they're doing is protesting. They're protesting. 70% of Americans want the illegal immigration thing brought under control. The Minutemen go out there and they are protesting. They say we have to stop this. I don't see that as racist.